We're here at Computex 2025 and I've been going all around to try and find the coolest coolers of the show, starting off with this right here, the Cryorig Lull. Now you can see we have what looks like a pretty standard AIO right here, but the tubes, wait, there's no radiator down here. There's no radiator right there. Where the heck is the radiator? Well, around the back, there's 3 kilograms of aluminum that is dissipating all of your heat completely silently. Well, pretty close, there's still a pump. But this allows you to have virtual silence in your rig, even though we're going to have what is effectively an AIO in your computer. So how it works is we have a pretty traditional AIO pump right here, pumps the water down, and this goes into our great big aluminum heat sink. That water then flows through some channels that go all the way around here. There's 2 plates that are sandwiched together to create those channels, and then all of your heat just kind of goes away like that. Here we have an earlier production sample that has some nice little quick disconnects here, and as you can see, it has been playing CSGO since the start of the day, so a couple of hours at this point, but our CPU temps are still only at 65 degrees while it's consuming about 60 watts. Now, the plate itself has gotten really quite hot, but it's not dangerously hot. We can see here with my incredibly inaccurate thermometer that it's reaching about 36 degrees or so, which is not gonna burn you, so that's better than a lot of gaming laptops. Right now the plan is to sell the entire thing as a unit, so you'll get the whole case and the great big radiator for about $500. Now they don't have any availability yet and it's going to be custom order, so if you want one, just shoot them an email and maybe they'll make one for you. That said though, I would really like to see maybe a DIY version so you could add this onto any case. It would not be an easy DIY, you would be cutting holes, but I'm always down for that. Just like I'm always down to segue to our sponsor. Thanks to Saily for sponsoring our 2025 Computex coverage. We're out here in Taiwan for a whole week, and you might be able to imagine the kind of roaming charges we have right now. I've used, I think, 6 gigabytes. Luckily with Saily's eSIM plans, you can significantly reduce or even eliminate those charges. Simply set up the app before you leave, and once you touch down at your destination, you'll get instant connection. And if you're having issues at any time, their 24/7 chat support is there to lend a hand. Saily's eSIM plans are available in over 200 destinations, so the next time you travel, download their app and use code ShortCircuit for 25% off the data plan to stay connected wherever you might be going. Maybe you're looking for a bunch of cooling though, and something that's a little bit smaller. You might be familiar with Frore systems from all of the other videos that we made with them, but this right here is their Airjet Mini G2, and they have been very hard at work making this quite a bit more powerful. For the second version, they have a 50% increase in CFM, and it still maintains that incredible 1,750 pascals of back pressure, meaning that it's able to draw in air through even stuff that is waterproof. If you haven't watched our previous videos on these, there's a little piezoelectric membrane that vibrates. It shoots air down onto the cold plate with so much pressure that it breaks the boundary layer and then shoots all of your hot air out without making a whole lot of noise. This is really neat because you can put it in all kinds of things that fans normally would not be able to go into. Like this inspection camera. This is the SWIR camera, and it would typically be used in factories where you need to see exactly what you're looking at and make sure that everything your factory is making is, well, getting made correctly. Problem is though, over time, as the sensor in your camera heats up, the image quality will degrade, as we demonstrated when we water cooled a Red camera. Here though, they don't have a water cooler, they have just inserted a tiny little air jet, and that has dropped the sensor temps from 43 degrees down to 15, and you can really tell the difference in image quality. Like, look at how much noise is in this hot sensor right here. It is so much easier for those electrons to be like, oh yeah, that's some light right there, and when there actually isn't if your sensor is getting too hot. Whereas right here, look at how pretty that image is. You can see these coffee beans so well. They're also showing off the Netgear Nighthawk Wi-Fi router. This right here is a 5G hotspot, and previously the cooling on it is what you might consider ass. After about 30 minutes, this would overheat and turn off, and then you have no more Wi-Fi on all of your other devices. Fortunately though, with a Frore Airjet, this right here is able to just keep on going for as long as you want. You see all of these phones, they are connected to it right now, and it's been connected to it all day? Yeah, all day, great. Another thing they're showing off is the Iodine Pro Mini with Airjet. This right here is an 8TB portable SSD that is designed for filmmaking mostly, and it has a bunch of really cool stuff. So first of all, it has RAID, so you don't have to worry about your data corrupting, one of your drives dies. All good, there's another one in there that is going to be backing all of it up. Also, in film, there's a lot of problems where you have media on a whole bunch of different SSDs and all of that stuff. Well, there's a little e-ink display right here that you can scan, find out exactly what's on it, what should be on it, and even if it gets lost or ends up somewhere that it shouldn't, they can have a shipping label appear right here so it can get sent back to you. But of course, this being Frore, they want to make sure that it stays nice and cool the whole time so that if you connect this to a camera, you can record directly to the SSD and not worry about it slowing down and dropping frames as that SSD heats up too much. The Iodine Pro Mini is expected to launch later this year and will be about $1,500 for the 4TB version, which is a lot of money if you're just looking for storage, but not too bad for film equipment because that stuff's all absolutely wildly expensive. Another thing they're showing off is the Roughneck Industrial Tablet. Now in the past, these had to be completely passively cooled because it's normally used in applications like mining, oil rig, stuff like that, really anywhere that your tablet is going to get just absolutely covered in filth. Now that means that the performance did have to take quite a big hit because, well, you don't have any actual cooling, it's just totally passive. That said though, Frore has been able to use their incredible amount of static pressure to pull in all of the air through this little filter right here, and then also they isolate their whole system from the chassis using this plate right here. So this connects to the processor, and they're able to yeet out 45 watts through these heat pipes right here into the Airjet, which gets attached like this, and then there's a little intake right there, and the whole thing's able to be nice and performant while also not having to worry about it getting all clogged up and dying. If you watched our previous video though, where we connected a couple of these into a MacBook Air, you might have noticed that it was pretty darn difficult because you don't just need the cooler, but you need all of the electronics as well to make sure that everything works perfectly. But that is no longer an issue because of the 4 Airjet packs. So this one right here is a single Airjet and all of the electronics combined, and then you just throw in 5 or 12 volts and it's happy. Lots of cooling. They also have much larger ones. This one right here is the 5C. This is able to cool 33 watts, and once again, just 12 volts in there. Boom, it's working. You can see it right here. This is a little AI box, and as you can see, compared to the normal version with a fan, the volume reduction is wild while maintaining the same SoC power. And finally, they're showing off this AMD AI evaluation kit, which, as you can hear, is incredibly loud. Now, could AMD improve that with a better fan? Probably, but Frore has already gone ahead and done it for them by slapping 2 of their 5Cs onto it. They're able to dissipate all 54 watts from this guy right here, while being, it's not quite silent, but it still is pretty darn not loud. That said though, this one right here, you can hear a bit of stuff. It has a certain whir to it. But if we compare that to the new one, the G2 that they have inside of this camera sounds just so much better. It only sounds like air coming out instead of sounding like a little bit of a fan making, I don't know how to describe it, you can hear it. Just like you can hear me going to the next booth. And finally, we're at TCOMAS, where they have a whole bunch of AIOs. They have screens on them. Yeah, we've already seen that 500 times. What I really like, they have a little computer to go inside of your computer. It is so cute. This is their LA300. It can do somewhere around 300 watts of power, and I just think it's very nice and unique. And look, if you want to put something else in there, you can take this off, throw a little figurine in, and it's just really cute. Their LA300 is expected to launch for around $130, and I just appreciate stuff that's not just another screen inside of your computer. I love this little thing. So huge thanks for watching, guys. Hit like, get subscribed, and I hope you have a great all day. See you at the next booth.